Hello, welcome to TJD, episode 76. We watch Tombstone.
I'm Ty.
Jake.
And I'm Drew.
Yes, Tombstone, the 1993 film starring Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Michael Biehn, Sam Elliott, Powers Booth, Stephen Lang, Bill Paxton.
Bane?
Oh, sorry.
Hello! The worst Bane I've ever done.
Tommy Wiseau as Bane.
I wasn't ready for it.
How is it pronounced?
Bean.
Bean.
Just Bean.
Michael Roker, Thomas Hayden Church.
Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah.
John Locke from Lost.
Wait, that's the same person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that blew my fucking mind.
Yeah. A shit ton of actors.
Yeah.
Billy Zane. Which, Billy Bob Thornton for like 5 minutes.
Almost unrecognizable.
But he gets bitch slapped by Kurt
Yeah,
Russell.
that was pretty good. That was pretty great.
That was excellent.
But to go into this, it is detailing the events of Wyatt Earp's life while he lived in Tombstone, Arizona. Him and his brothers set out to make a small fortune, to live as a family, to set up in what is a silver mining town, a boom town, as they called it back then. And being a retired lawman, there's a family or a gang that is running this town, and they seem to cross paths. Things go wrong. They get involved, and then there ends up being the shootout at the OK Corral that is very famous. And then it follows the retaliation to then Wyatt Earp pretty much getting his revenge, or trying to get his revenge, and then a small love plot is thrown in there for Wyatt and the woman he ended up seeing for the remainder of his life, which could have really done without, but
Yeah.
But
I appreciate the opium use.
well, that was his other wife.
Right.
Pro opium use.
Con, no Mogwais. That's where you buy Mogwais. Well, actually, I guess that wasn't really an opium den. It was just some weird Asian
more of like
shop.
a bodega's shop or something.
Yeah, that was like it's Nooks and Crannies is not what I was going for.
Nooks and Crannies.
Yeah, Nooks and Crannies shop.
A store called Nook and Cranny.
Yeah. No, it was like an antique store. It was just a weird store he went into.
I feel like if he would have asked for opium, though,
he
would have a guy.
Is that racist?
I hope.
Wait, you hope?
I don't care anymore. Did you think that I ever cared?
Yes.
Oh, that's sad. I got a pro. Val Kilmer, does it even have to be said?
No. Val Kilmer, like his accent you guys kind of made fun of, and I was like, are they not going to take him serious through this whole film?
I mean, it is an interesting accent.
He said he was going for a southern aristocrat.
Kinda
That's
like-
what he was going
It
for.
sounded a little flamboyant.
Little Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
Which is exactly, I think, what he was going for.
Yeah.
So he nailed it. Maybe not what you thought he should sound like, but that's exactly what he was going for.
I'll give him props. He fucking killed it, man.
He was good.
He's my Huckleberry.
Yeah, he liked saying that.
You're no Daisy. You didn't know what else to say?
I was just laughing at the noises you make.
I make noises.
Alright.
I love lamp.
Like that last pod, huh?
Were you making noises?
No, you guys were all making sex noises last pod.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
I did too.
That crow pod, though.
And then I was throwing up, and you're like, oh, he's getting in on the action.
Wow, I completely forgot about that.
Anyways, another pro, a guy that made us make noises, Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
That's a fucking man's man. Like, goddamn.
Like,
And he drops, I'm pretty sure his balls dropped during the scene in this movie. They even lower than they already were.
That was the best scene in the movie.
do you want to explain the scene?
Is it going to be somebody's scene?
I was going to pick it, yeah.
Do we want to do that early?
Sure, why not?
All right. This is Drew's scene. Go ahead.
Okay, so they get in a firefight with all of the cowboys in, I don't know, it's kind of like a foresty kind of area.
By a riverbank.
Yeah, by a riverbank. There's tree cover. Anyways, Kurt Russell is just tired of being pinned down and comes out from behind this log, just walking out in the open in the middle of everybody. And he starts wading through this river. And Curly Bill and I don't know if it was Ike came up on him. Like they were going to shoot him. And they just get closer and closer. People are taking shots at Kurt Russell. Nobody's hitting him. And then all of a sudden he gets super close to Curly Bill. And he's just like, no! And blows him away. And it was, goddamn it, it was the fucking greatest scene I've ever seen in my life.
It was pretty good.
Well, the thing is, did you hear him say no the whole time as he was walking
Yeah,
out
he
there?
kept saying it, yeah.
He's like, no. And he just keeps walking and like Jesus on water, just no one can hit him.
Yeah. Curly Bill or whoever was a shitty shot.
Yeah.
Everyone was, because he was out there for a while. He didn't call him off till he was in the river. But, and supposedly, I mean, by the tales from some of that gang that were chased down by Wyatt Earp, that actually happened. So whether or not it's actually true or if it's just a legend but by one of the guys, he had gut shot the guy, and the guy then told stories about what happened, how it happened, and that's what he said is Wyatt walked over, well, not walked on water, but walked through the water. No one could hit him, and he just pretty much walked point blank and shot him.
Yeah, I was going to say, cowboys are known for their meticulous record keeping.
Mm-hmm.
I might take that with a little grain of salt. Just a little bit.
It's definitely by mouth, so, you know, just like that gun that Wyatt Earp puts in that guy's mouth in the opium den.
That was pretty great.
I mean, there's a lot worse things that could go into your mouth in an opium den.
This is true.
I don't know from experience. Just throwing it out there.
Sure.
I see a lot of things through my binoculars.
How many opium dens do you live near?
And why would they have windows?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We were doing hardcore drugs. You just want to... You need a little sunlight to brighten up your drug use. Just let everybody watch.
What's going on in the opium den?
Yeah. That should be a show. What's going on in the opium den?
I'm sure there's something.
Why would there be something?
If there's like, you know, hardcore pawn, why don't you think there would be... And wasn't there a show about people... What?
I like how he grabs hardcore pawn as a reason for why what's going on in an opium den could be a show.
Wasn't there a show about like people smuggling drugs across the border? I thought that was something that was on A&E for like a year or two.
How would that even be legal?
I don't know. But then there's also a show about like escaping polygamy, where people literally are trying to escape polygamy. It's like, well, that shouldn't be legal because technically polygamy isn't legal, but
It is in Utah.
What fucking channel are you watching?
that one's TLC, I think.
Has it become like a Mormon-centric channel?
I don't know. I don't watch TLC.
You just said you watched TLC.
That was my fiance.
Did you listen to TLC, though?
I did.
Yeah.
No scrubs.
Creep.
Waterfall.
I got nothing. You named all mine?
All three of them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know any other three.
All right. I got a con.
Sure.
Get all the women out of this movie.
Wow.
Let me explain. I don't think any of the subplot, like the romantic subplots, are strong enough to actually be here. The only one I thought was even remotely entertaining was his prostitute girlfriend that was doing opium just because she was fucking crazy and erratic.
What about Doc Holliday's chick?
She was all right,
I
I guess.
say I enjoyed her, especially where he was like, "We have to redefine our relationship."
Right, and they didn't really try to build that up to be anything. She was just kind of like, you immediately kind of knew that she enabled his lifestyle, kind of. And then they kind of play into that in a scene where, the doctor tells him, don't smoke and don't drink, and then she literally...
And don't have sex.
Literally lights up a cigarette and then goes and tries to jerk him off or whatever.
She was giving him a BJ.
I didn't see that.
Oh, well, no, she reached down.
Yeah, she reached down.
And then she hands him the cigarette, and then she went down on him.
Yeah, she goes out of frame.
Oh.
Come on, Jake. Get your mind in the gutter.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't Ghostbusters where, Dan Aykroyd's getting it. This is Val Kilmer.
Motherfucker. Fuck Dan Aykroyd. But...
Dan Aykroyd as Doc Holliday.
Yeah, right.
That would never work.
No. Yeah, that would be some of the worst casting ever. I don't know. I just think you could have cut all that out of the movie, and it would have been fine. Who was coming to this movie wanting that?
Well, because the original screenwriter was also the director, and he had a lot longer script as well, where he was exploring everyone's backstory, and he would have gone more in depth with Wyatt's like 2 love affairs that he had going on at the same time. And I think just to make a full movie, because he got fired like a week or 2 weeks into filming. And Kurt Russell took it upon himself to make sure this movie kept going.
Did it say why he got fired?
He was too demanding on set. Like
too demanding.
He couldn't. Like he's the one who was making him in over 100-degree weather wearing wool costumes.
Oh, I see.
He, which they weren't. It wasn't that they didn't want to be authentic. It just was like, hey, let's not be stupid about this.
Right. Be reasonable.
Yeah, and they also just. They were seeing how he was directing, like what he was getting from scenes. Like, because, they do dailies, and they just weren't liking the product. So Kurt Russell took it upon himself. There was another director hired, and that guy got the screen credit. What was his name? George P. Cosmatos. But everyone says it was pretty much Kurt Russell that directed this film. Because he feared the studio would shut it down if somebody didn't keep it going. So him, Kilmer, Paxton helped out a little bit. They set up shots, they drew up storyboards, they helped make sure this kept going, but Russell took on most of it. And that's why he didn't want Wyatt to do as much in this film. It's because, and maybe that's why you see a lot of scenes with other people that don't have much, like, not necessarily the women actresses, but they focus on them a lot more, is because they're trying to set something up and not have Kurt doing everything.
Right.
So
he didn't want to steal the show.
Which, I mean, Kilmer does that himself. So
yeah, Kilmer stole this movie. But there's a reason. He's I don't know. He was great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily that everybody else wasn't great. It's just Kilmer was that extra tier.
I think he found the right thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was just motivated enough. Like, that was the issue I always heard about Kilmer, is sometimes he wasn't motivated enough. And right. I think Russell, like, as an actor, motivated him. And then also Russell then directing him helped him too. So, because when Kilmer has a good director, you get great out of him.
Great out of him.
Yes, great. Greatness, whatever. Oh. You want me to use right words in this English language?
You want me to use right words? You turn it into me.
Pod, I will stop if you not fun make of.
Not fun make of?
No, I'm just being a dick. But it was up to Russell to kind of save this film, and I think that just a few other things maybe got added to this film to take the workload off of him.
Well,
and I think they were also really trying to tell the story of Wyatt Earp for what was going on with him in that small period of time. Because 6 months later, you had the Kevin Costner film coming out, which just told his whole fucking story over 3.5 hours.
Do you hate Kevin Costner?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, Mr. Brooks is 2 hours of my life I will not get back.
Yeah, but it has Dane Cook in it.
And it has, like, Kevin Costner orgasming to pictures of people he murdered.
Jake makes a comment without thinking about the context of the statement, and it makes everyone extremely uncomfortable. It is stricken from the record.
And all this is cut.
Yeah, please.
Put a fucking flamethrower on it and piss on it.
Yeah.
Take a bucket to it like that. That scene right before the OK Corral where the building's on fire.
What was that building on fire?
I have no clue.
I assume the gang set it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of.
It's never really established. It could have just been a really bad day.
I wonder that. I was
just saying,
what the fuck?
Con, with the story, because there is a lot they cut from this film, you're supposed to figure out that, like, this is a progression of about 2 years. And it's, like, it starts in, like, late 1881, and it ends up about late 1882, 83. And so it's like a whole year and a half goes by, but they don't really mention it. You just kind of have to pick it up by context clues. Like, Bill Paxton gets shot in the shoulder and his arm's in a sling for a long time, and Sam Elliott's on a crutch because he got shot in the leg. Well, now all of a sudden Sam Elliott's walking around without a crutch, and Bill Paxton just, like, is fine. So, they talk about a relationship Earp and the actress have been having, and it's been going over a period of time. Doc getting worse. The woman that Doc is with Doc leaves him because he pretty much tells her she has to. So, and you just gotta pick up by clues throughout the film that, oh, this is taking place over an extended amount of time, not just like within weeks or days of each other.
I got a con. That scene after Bill Paxton dies and he goes out in the rain.
Oh, yeah.
What in the hell? Why?
Yeah.
It was like super over the top.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
Like they could have cut.
What they could have done is shown him walking out in the rain, being like, "Why?" and then cut it, and then like moved on.
Yeah, but he like walks a little bit down the middle of the road, and there's one of his love interests,
the actress. Yeah,
and he's like, "Get away from me!" and she walks away, and then he walks a little bit back, and the other love interest is out there, and
she
just walks away, and then he's just, freaking out, and you're like,
wiping his hands on his shirt.
Yeah, you're like, all right, man.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother died. I got it. I sympathize with that.
And maybe what's worse about that shot is, like, everything's wet, but, like, you see exactly where the fake rain is stopping. So it's like, oh, man, that looks awful.
Yeah, it's pretty noticeable. But, like you said earlier, I give them credit since, their schedule kind of was fucked up, and your director, bailed or got fired.
Yep.
But yeah, a little too over the top, and not the funny kind of over the top, like the nose scene.
Not like over top the movie.
No. Stallone?
Yeah, it's a great film.
Is that the arm wrestling one?
Yep.
God damn it, Ty. You would like that movie?
It's amazing.
It's not. It's really not. All right. You're entitled to your opinion.
It's like your opinion, man.
That's like your opinion, man.
Oh, boy. I got a question that I don't have an answer to.
Yeah?
Well, I have a lot of those. But, they all have interesting names like Texas Jim and Curly Bill. What would your cowboy name be?
That is an interesting question.
I think I'd be Child Murderer Jake.
Well Dweller Jake. Well Watcher Jake.
Well Watcher Jake. Really rolls off the tongue.
I don't know what mine would be. Like,
Big Texas Ty.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen fan Ty.
He wouldn't have existed. It'd probably be tongue-tied Ty.
Tongue-tied tie?
Yeah.
Tongue-tied tie?
Yeah.
They call him Triple T for short.
Yeah.
I imagine most women would just think you were really good at eating pussy.
And what's wrong with that?
I mean it's a great name.
At least I came up with something.
I don't think mine's going to get the same reaction. Unless she hates her kids.
I mean, Drew didn't come up with shit.
Yeah, you got one?
Dastardly Drew.
Dastardly Drew.
Yeah.
I was say Denver Drew from Nebraska. Oh, that makes sense.
A little convoluted.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
I mean, like, one of the only good jokes I thought that landed in that Million Ways to Die in the West is Seth MacFarlane asks, is it Theron that's in that?
Yeah.
He asked her, he goes, where are you from? And she goes, Kansas City. He goes, Kansas. She goes, no, Missouri. He goes, well, that's confusing. And I was like, okay. A little humor there.
Saw that in the theater.
Yeah, I know, me too.
How was that?
It was a movie in a theater.
Yep. I paid $5, so I was like, well, that was $5.
I also saw Draft Day in the theater.
Why would
Kevin
you want...
Costner.
Yeah. And it was not bad.
I was going to say, isn't Brandon Ralph in that?
I don't know.
Or not Tom Welling.
Isn't there the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah. He's the GM for the Cleveland Browns. Does he get fired?
No, he hangs himself at the end.
Really?
No, that'd be great though. I'd be crying in the theater. I'd be like the most realistic movie I've ever seen.
Oscar bait.
Schindler's List was more fabricated.
Jeez.
And less impactful.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
But no, really, how was Draft Day?
It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's one of those I had a pass to see it for free because that's the only way I've seen Draft Day in the movie theater. I remember going and being like, I had no expectations and it did above that. So take that for what it's worth.
Who wants to watch a movie about the Cleveland Browns?
You know, I don't know. It was interesting. There was some suspense.
Now, like, he does a bunch of shit trades in that, doesn't he? Like, does the team actually come out good, or...
I don't remember.
Yeah. At least it had a happy ending.
Yeah, unlike the actual Browns. They're still in Cleveland.
Nothing escapes Cleveland.
No, that Cleveland team's in Baltimore now.
Yeah. Well, no, not during Draft Day. That's the new Cleveland. The original Cleveland is in Baltimore, yes. The one that won a Super Bowl.
Oh my god.
What?
That happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
Well, no, Cleveland didn't win the Super Bowl. It was like 2 years after they moved the team.
Cleveland's team.
To Baltimore, they won a Super Bowl.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, it's Cleveland.
I know. I mean, they rock.
Do they, though?
No.
Believe land.
They had one of their lakes light on fire.
Because it was filled with trash?
Yes.
What is this, Flint, Michigan?
No, they had water. Maybe not drinkable water.
No.
But water.
That's what I'm saying. They have trash water.
If we were going... Like, we mentioned the cast is huge in this. Like, big name stars up and down this cast. Or at least people who are known. The worst actor probably in this of the main I thought was Paxton. I don't know why. It just seemed to me like...
He seemed awkward.
Yeah.
Stiff, dude.
I was just like, was their brothers... Like, was... The only thing I could think of is like their brother was just naive. He had never actually been like the law business. He just was younger. And so he had never dealt with that. Whereas like Virgil, the older one, and Wyatt had both done it. And so they knew what it was like.
And it kind of seemed that way because there was that scene where, you know, Sam Elliott is kind of taking up the law side, and Paxton says something like, well, you got to follow your brother, and
I just wanted to do what you would have done.
Right. So I could buy that as kind of an excuse. He's just young and naive.
And so Paxton had to act that way. I don't know. He just seemed off in this film. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's just hard to hold your own when you're going up against Val Kilmer and Kurt Russell and Sam Elliott.
Yeah. Those guys are all pretty seasoned.
Yeah.
Maybe not Kilmer, but Kilmer was just...
Well, he had been acting since the 80s, so...
Well, yeah, but yeah, but so had Paxton. He was in Terminator 1.
See,
albeit a very small role.
A bit part.
He was in it, though. I bought him as that punk kid that died immediately.
He sold that role.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't even know it was him for years. Someone told me that. I was like, what? All right.
And then he got into Aliens because of that role.
Game over, man.
Game over. Oh.
God damn it. Good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Pro, Michael Biehn.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Is just an intimidating fucker in almost everything.
Who do you think's more intimidating in this film? Kurt Russell, Michael Biehn, Val Kilmer, or Powers Booth?
Powers Booth wasn't really intimidating. He was kind of the comedic relief, or like...
But he was such an asshole.
He was a fucking asshole, but like he wasn't really... Like, you wouldn't look at him and be intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Biehn had kind of that weird, like, quiet
What's he gonna do?
Yeah, you didn't know how crazy he was, really. But Kurt Russell came out, like, swinging. Like, I'm the big dick in this movie. And just, yeah, he would be super fucking intimidating. But I'd probably say Michael Biehn.
I was gonna say, just watching Kurt Russell, like, beat the shit out of Billy Bob.
Yeah.
And then a chubbier Billy Bob.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man.
I barely recognized him.
If it wasn't for his voice, I would have forgotten he was in this film. But then him to just stare down Billy Bob on the street, and he's like, leave the shotgun.
Yeah.
So
good.
Oh, man. Yeah, and then anytime he interacted with Ike, the bandit or whatever, because he spurs him in the face.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's right. After I was saying I hoped he got curb stomped.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Ooh.
He never did.
And then his line that hell's coming with me.
Yeah.
He's a badass in this film. Like, I mean, he's a badass in pretty much any film, but...
Right. Well, Death Proof. He's not really a badass in that. He talks a big game, but he kind of acts like a little bitch at the end of that movie, which makes it hilarious, but...
Yeah, I think that was the point.
Yeah. Who could we get that having them act like a pussy would be funny as hell? Kurt Russell.
Well,
That's a good choice.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah, he talked a lot of shit in that.
Yeah.
He was kind of not...
He wasn't actually the hero. He just happened to be there.
God, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd say Michael Biehn just because I like the unknown type of you don't know what their threshold is.
Mm-hmm. Val Kilmer Doc though is more of a... I think he's even more of a wild card just because he's dying, but yet he, like, the whole Michael Biehn does as Ringo does the gun moves or whatever, he keeps flipping it and turning it and everything, and then Doc takes his cup and does the same exact thing, which is hilarious, but it's like, this guy can kill you.
Right. Yeah, and that really let you know how scary he was is towards the end when they confront each other, and Michael Bihn's actually like, I was just fucking around with you, and Doc's like, I wasn't.
No, you said blood game.
And you can see fear on his face, and you're like, oh shit, he's actually scared right now.
That's why I would say Doc's probably the most intimidating.
Yeah. Although, you wouldn't want to run into any of them.
No.
You're not that good of a shot?
No. Probably shoot myself in the foot.
Pull a Jake Gyllenhaal and shoot yourself in the gut.
Oh yeah, from Nocturnal Animals.
Took me a minute.
Oh, which is a spoiler, but no one should watch that movie anyways.
This motherfucker's filled with hate.
What'd you give that, by the way?
I gave it a 5.5.
It's not even that bad compared to Suburbia.
Yeah.
You want to watch Suburbia?
No.
You don't want to watch it again?
No. Never. Never again.
Oh I'm just gonna turn this into a fuck with Ty podcast.
Oh,
I'll just call you up Saturday. Ty, what movies don't you like?
How many Adam Sandler films do you want to watch, Jake?
None?
I don't want to watch any. Do you want to disband this pod right now?
God, you got a lot to pick from, too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's not do that.
The do-over would be next.
I could just kill myself.
There's always a way out.
Yeah. That's my wild card. Suicide. It's good to know.
Suicide by Sandler.
Yeah. Or just, lawnmower.
Man.
Yeah, the lawnmower, man. That'd be a good movie to kill yourself, too.
I've never actually seen it.
It's fucking garbage. You never seen it?
What is it?
Oh,
It's about
my God.
It's about a 3D video game.
Yeah, it's about like a retarded guy that mows lawns, the lawnmower man, and he becomes like an AI in a system and starts like torturing people and becomes a super genius for some reason.
Really?
Yeah,
Based on the Stephen King novel.
it's bad.
Is it really a
It's-
Stephen?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's fucking bad. I'd rather watch Maximum Overdrive,
Oh wow.
which was made by a cocaine-fueled Stephen King, who doesn't even remember making the movie. I'd rather watch that. It's a movie where
But it has Emilio Estevez.
That's all it has. It's a movie where cars and pop machines come to life. It's like Transformers for $20.
The Simpsons parodied it too.
Oh, did they?
Mhm.
Well, of course they did.
The episode's called Maximum Homer Drive.
I had a kid in our senior year of high school. He had to do an essay, like we had to do a short story. He just wrote the script of Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah,
What?
he turned in pretty much Maximum Overdrive.
And
He
got an F.
a B. No,
What?
yeah, he got a B.
Was your teacher into coke?
No, she
You
was
probably
just an
never
idiot.
heard of it.
Yeah,
Oh, she had never heard of it?
no, I don't think so.
I guess it's not all that shocking.
No.
She's like, yeah, this is probably about a B movie.
Yeah.
I got a confession. I kind of like Maximum Overdrive. I know I've been shitting on it. There's something about it where you're just like, this is completely terrible.
Is it Emilio?
It might be Emilio. Actually, no, it's not Emilio. I never gave a shit about Emilio Estevez. He's fine.
I
He's
mean,
never even seen Mighty Ducks.
I know.
I like him in Repo Man. I like him in Breakfast Club. But I don't. I'm not obsessed with him.
Free Jack? Did you ever see Free Jack?
No.
Oh, okay.
What am I missing out?
Not really.
I was gonna say, is that the one?
If
that
you
wins
like
me?
Maximum Overdrive, though, you might like Free Jack.
Okay, let me clear the air here. I can tolerate Maximum Overdrive. There's parts of it that I find entertaining, but I would never seek out Maximum Overdrive.
See, Free Jack has Anthony Hopkins, Emilio, and Mick Jagger.
Well, that's a weird combo.
Yeah. Like, the whole thing is, like,
Why the fuck aren't we watching that right now?
they steal people right before they die from the past so that somebody in the future can inhabit their body. So Emilio is like some famous race car driver. They rip him from right before he dies in a car crash, and then Anthony Hopkins is supposed to inhabit him, but something goes wrong and he escapes, and then Mick Jagger has to chase him down.
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
Wow.
He has moves, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. According to Maroon 5.
I miss drugs.
Jeez.
Back when drugs were just like a super common
Do
thing.
you remember when you could walk down the street and you could just walk into the nearest opium den?
Yeah.
Remember when you could walk down the street and just shoot somebody, and then they just ask you to hand in your guns?
Yeah. Go sleep it off. Sure, he came at me. All right, we'll get it sorted out.
Yep.
Can you imagine?
And you know what? Those two guys got off.
Oh, they got off, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because they help out Wyatt. So
Oh, they
remember.
helped him out.
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountain.
No.
That's what I'll pick. I'll sit right next to you.
In the same chair.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Guess what I want for Christmas?
these nuts.
How'd you know? D's nuts.
He definitely went to Jared.
Gets me every time. Yeah, so Tombstone's pretty good.
Well, I tried bringing it back to it by talking about the gun shooting in the street, but
Yeah.
do you think you guys could have made it in the West?
How long? 10 minutes?
If you lived to 20, that was a success.
Right?
5 years.
5 years in the West? In this town?
In a boomtown, yeah.
What's my occupation?
You're probably a minor.
Holy no, I'm not going to make it 5 years.
You're either like
I'd make it one weekend. I'd go get shit-faced and fuck all the prostitutes in town and
get chlamydia.
probably get kicked in the face by a horse in the middle of the night. They'd just find me fucking dead in the street. That's how I'd like to go, actually. So hard to find a horse these days. I guess I could go down to the racetrack.
Sir, just have it punch me in the face.
I just bring 20 hookers with me. What are you doing? I'm committing suicide.
You're having sex right behind my horse. Yeah, when I finish, I need to kick me in the face.
Start tickling his leg. Come on, horse, let me die.
Jeez.
The American dream.
I could see Jake getting in a gunfight.
Over nothing.
Yeah.
God, I get pissed at the drop of a hat. Literally, why the fuck did you drop this hat? Yeah, I would die.
He just literally goes around yelling blood game in people's faces.
I don't think I'd make it. Or I would fuck everything up. I don't know, it depends on how good of a shot I was. Probably not that great.
Well, those guns weren't very good shots to begin with.
If we stood directly in front of each other, maybe I could get him. Just pull it out real quick. And then the gun.
That's what I thought. No, like, in a boomtown, I don't think I would have done as well. Like, if I was, like, in Colorado where there was actually a true mining town or something, or it was a homestead, I think I could have done all right. But in a boomtown where it was either you mine or you gamble or that shit, I probably would have died.
You gonna make it?
What's my occupation?
Well, like I said, if it's a boomtown, you're probably a miner or you're a scavenger or something like that. Like what Tombstone was.
No, dude, I'd probably get the mine would collapse in on itself and no one would come to save me.
Well, I mean, they were probably more panning, but I'm just saying.
He might drown himself.
Yeah,
then.
it's probably true.
Probably not.
I'd hate to be a bartender back then.
Yeah. Bartenders.
Well,
took
it would
so
be
much
easy.
shit.
They'd just be like, whiskey. Okay.
Until they got drunk and violent.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd hate to be a bartender now.
Well,
now
fuck,
that I think about
Stephen Lang, he's like, no bartender talk shit to me. He just punches the bartender in the face. He's like, just drink, just go home.
He didn't punch him. It was more insulting than that. He kind of backhanded.
Mm-hmm.
Not hard, though. Just enough to,
let him know he's his bitch.
Yeah.
And then...
So much more insulting.
And then Sam Elliott just knocks him out with the butt of a gun.
Yeah, he fucking Captain Kirk karate chopped him.
Mm-hmm.
The Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yeah.
I thought Sam Elliott was going to have a bigger role in this movie, to be honest.
I'd agree.
Like I said, the original director / screenwriter had bigger roles. He was going to go through all their family stuff. Like, everybody was going to get their backstory.
I guess what I should say is I thought Sam Elliott he was going to stick with the main gang, longer, throughout the whole thing, instead of them kind of going their own separate ways.
But, I mean, the movie is pretty much about Wyatt and Doc.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't, I knew Sam Elliott was in it. I didn't know he played Wyatt's brother.
By the way, how sexy is Sam Elliott's voice?
You could maximum
Overdrive.
sexy.
I was like, really? At least name a movie he's in. Ghost
Big
Rider.
Lebowski.
His voice was big. Lebowski.
There, I'll take that. He's like a ghost writer.
Oh, I thought you meant Ghost. I was like, Sam
No.
Elliott's in Ghost?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Although replace Sam Elliott. Yeah, no. Replace Patrick Swayze with Sam Elliott. Different movie.
Better movie.
Better movie.
No.
That gravelly fucking voice behind Demi Moore. She's like, what the hell? Is Ben Grimm behind me?
Have you actually seen Ghost?
No.
It's actually
It's actually
really
not
good.
bad.
I enjoy it.
You probably wouldn't like it, but
But that makes me think we should watch Mannequin.
I think you've been talking about Mannequin since we started this fucking show.
I like Mannequin.
in Glitter. And
No, Glitter was a joke. I wasn't
Geely,
actually ever
Suburban
Chocolat.
Commando.
Yeah, Suburban Commando.
I actually would like to do Suburban. I just don't know where the hell
You want to throw
find
Mr. Mom in there too?
Actually, I hear it's a great film. Never seen it.
It's Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah.
I'll watch Michael Keaton.
I love Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
But Sam Elliott, he has a nice gravelly voice, and then he always makes me hungry for beef. Because it's what's for dinner
Sam Elliott's beef
tonight.
in your mouth.
No.
Is the noise you would make.
Why would I make that noise?
Because beef.
It's what's for dinner.
Tonight. Any other cons or pros?
I got a con.
Sure.
I thought the voice mix was very low.
Yes. Because you kept having to go up and down at the beginning, and I'm wondering if that's just the quality of the DVD itself.
Could be a DVD thing.
Yeah, which it's brand new, but at the same time, older film, and maybe they just didn't put money into it. So there's just
Possible.
like people are gonna buy this because it's fucking Tombstone. So
They were right.
yeah,
They got your money.
hey, I don't care. It's a fucking great film. So, I was gonna say, con Billy Zane and Jason Priestley.
Yeah. Why are they in this movie, really?
I think Billy Zane, because he's a good-looking guy, and they were trying to show an actor, like a traveling thespian, and they're like, oh, he's probably would be attractive. So, I mean, I can't fault it. Billy Zane is an attractive man. Well, at that time, he was. Jason Priestley, I have no fucking clue. Because you can't even tell it's him.
He seemed miscast.
Yeah, he was totally miscast.
I think those roles could have just been removed from the film altogether.
If you had to pick one, I would have kept Billy Zane's role. Just
Because
because
he at least was connected to someone that was
a
a moderate character, I
Yeah.
guess.
But that other guy,
Yeah,
He didn't need to be there.
no. He was literally a no one. And I guess he was supposed to be the moral conscience of the group or something.
What the fuck?
Like, because Zane gets killed, and then they're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I have to write off because this is not, what we're about. So,
Not cool, guys.
yeah. You killed my friends. That's what he says to them.
yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, he could have not been in this.
Yeah. He could have stayed in Beverly Hills.
I'm sure that's the only reason he was in this.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this show's fucking crazy popular right now. Let's get
Jason Priestley.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Beverly Hills 90210?
Not intentionally.
Nope, never did.
Okay.
Actually, no, never mind.
Wait. No, go ahead.
Well, there were some attractive ladies on that.
Yes. Didn't
I
Tiffany
may-
Amber Thiessen show up for a couple seasons after Saved by the Bell?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh. I thought she did. But...
I'm sure at one point as a young man I was channel surfing and got transfixed on something and watched an episode.
Of Melrose Place.
I mean, they are the same thing, right?
Well, one deals with teenagers in high school. The other one deals with like a small apartment community.
Who the fuck knows the difference between 90210 and Melrose Place?
I don't know. I still don't know the difference. Like, weren't you the guy who watched like Touched by an Angel and fucking Dawson's Creek and
Well, I watched all of Dawson's Creek.
And
Yeah.
Seventh Heaven.
No,
Seventh
fuck
Heaven?
Seventh Heaven. Yeah, my religious... Yeah, what? No.
Party of
No,
Five.
I thought it was like you watched. I thought it was Seventh Heaven.
No,
Or maybe that was you, Ty.
I never watched Seventh Heaven.
Oh.
No, I joked about Touched by an Angel. I never fucking watched Touched by an Angel.
Hey,
I was touched by an angel once.
Touched by an Angel is a great show.
Is it though?
I don't know.
Who is the angel touching and why?
Well, I think the whole show was like bringing blessings upon people, but I really don't know. I was very young when I saw it, so...
It's angels.
It taught you to believe you were blessed?
Well, not everyone. It just, like... I have no idea how it actually worked. Like, either they came to people and, like, helped them to the afterlife, or they came there to help them out in hard times. But I really don't know, so...
So the angels could win the pennant.
Yep. Christopher Lloyd.
I'm so happy.
Danny Glover.
Proud of you both.
Thank you.
So stupid.
Matthew
You're
McConaughey.
still naming people?
From Angels in the Outfield.
McConaughey was in that?
Yeah.
he's one of the
He was the center fielder.
Oh.
Adrian Brody.
What?
Adrian Brody was in it.
Who was he?
He was, I think, the shortstop.
Was every, like... How many famous people were in this?
You said Joseph Gordon-Levitt, right?
No, he was one of the kids. Danny Glover. What's his name from Who's the Boss?
Tony Danza.
There we go.
Tony Danza.
Was the pitcher who was going to die an untimely death, according to Christopher Lloyd.
Yep.
Spoilers. It was a big tearjerker.
From smoking.
Yep.
This sounds amazing.
You've never seen Angels in the Outfield?
Actually, I think I did when I was a kid, but I don't really remember any of
God
it.
damn it.
Angels in the End Zone was terrible.
I was busy watching Celebrity Deathmatch.
In the Sandlot.
In the Sandlot?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Jake's outside in his sandbox watching Angels in the Outfield in Celebrity Deathmatch.
I pretended I had friends that played baseball.
Oh.
Childhood.
Alright. Tombstone.
Yay, we did a pod.
By the way, did any of you guys like Tombstone pizza?
I would eat Tombstone.
Yeah.
Which is better? Jack's, Tostino's, or Tombstone?
I'm gonna lean Jack's.
Tombstone.
If I'm not really hungry and I want all of myself, I'll go with the Tostino's.
You mean a Totino's?
Whatever. I don't care. Totino's. My bad.
Buongiorno. DiGiorno. Yeah, what about DiGiorno?
I'm not a big DiGiorno fan.
You want to pay $40 for a fucking pizza?
A fucking frozen pizza?
I think I bought one DiGiorno.
DiGiorno.
Yeah. Then after I ate it, I was like, that was a waste of money. I mean, yeah, it's a pizza, but Jesus fucking Christ.
It's not delivery. Holy fuck, it's expensive.
I was on welfare.
Wow.
All because of DiGiorno. We lost a sponsor. Are they even around anymore?
Yes, they're still around.
They still make pizzas, Jim.
Hell, they make breadsticks.
What about Red Baron?
I like Red Baron.
That's still around.
Yeah.
That's my jam, dude. That's my go-to.
As I say, out of like all those, I love a Jack's. I could eat all on my own when I was younger. Now I feel way too fat if I eat Jack's all on my own.
I like Jack's because it's got crunchy crust.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And Tombstone's like a lot of crust, but still good.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's really thick on the bottom too.
Can't believe we're talking about fucking frozen pizzas. Who the fuck? What is it? Oh, Tombstone. I was gonna say, why are we even talking about frozen pizza?
Tombstone.
Why did I not expect it to go here when it's the most logical place for you to take it?
Oh, why does it have to be me?
It's always you.
I know.
You always take it there. It's a good place to go, though. We hit less walls that way.
All right. I was going to say, do we want to just go with scenes? I know Drew gave his, but we can give ours.
I gotta go the whole scene with Billy Bob. Where, you know, Kurt Russell kind of comes in and he wants to be the, what is it, kind of like a little casino, I guess?
Well, he's going to be the dealer, but as the dealer, he's financing money for it, and so he gets a cut of it. So, and also just by giving his name there too, because he's Wyatt Earp, people come in to gamble with Wyatt Earp.
Right.
So
Wyatt, Kurt Russell, he goes into this bar, and the bartender more or less says that they haven't had a lot of customers because this jackass over there is just scaring everybody off and being a dick and being unreasonable. So he goes over and just fucking manhandles him, kind of.
makes him feel like a child.
Yeah, literally ends with him grabbing his ear like, you know...
Throwing him out of the club.
A fucking Catholic school nun, and just throws him out. And he gets all pissed off and goes home and gets a shotgun and comes back and realizes it's Wyatt Earp, and...
Because he sees Doc Holliday, and he's like, Doc, you're back in town?
Yeah. And he's like, what's the shotgun about? And... yeah, more or less, you know, turns with his tail between his legs, and he goes, why don't you leave that shotgun? And he just hands it to him and goes, thank you. As in, thanks for not killing me, and just disappears out of the movie. And you're like, God damn, that's pretty sweet.
I would have to say, oh man, there's so many good ones. I would have to say the Ringo Holiday showdown. Because, like, it's flirted with earlier with the whole, you know, play for blood, where Ringo tries to get the Earps to fight him after the OK Corral, and Doc is like, I'll be your Huckleberry. And then it culminates with Wyatt was supposed to show down with Ringo, and Doc beats him there, and they have their little draw. And it's so great back and forth because, like we talked about, Michael Biehn and Val are both intimidating in this film, but you see Biehn is scared of Holiday, and you're just like, it's great. And then, like, you have on his deathbed Doc, like, just, you know, calling out Ringo, so Johnny Ringo, and their dynamic in this film too is just really good. Those two playing off of each other, I think, is really fun. So, and that scene was just great near the end. So, kind of sometimes wish it would have ended nearer to there, but and that's a con we didn't get into, is this film kind of wraps up kind of poorly. So, but like we said, they had script issues. They also had director issues, so they kind of did with what they had. But, you know. Any fun facts you got there, Jake, that you know about?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Do you budget info?
Yep. It was... Oops, wrong one. It was budgeted at $25 million, and it made over 56 and a half. It actually is one movie that Roger and Ebert were going to skip. They thought it was going to be just bad. But then Ebert started hearing Val Kilmer knocked it out of the park.
Got curious. And...
yeah, so he got curious, him and Siskel. Siskel still gave us thumbs down, but Ebert said it was probably one of the best movies of 1993 and should have gotten some sort of award nomination for Kilmer. He actually kept saying for years after that when he would watch Kurt Russell or Val Kilmer do movies, he would think about Tombstone and be like, why aren't you guys doing that? Like, you know, or he would think back and be like, they got robbed. So he thinks they should have gotten something. And a lot of people have said it's one of the top, 10 Westerns of all time. And it was really dramatized, I will say that. But
still entertaining.
Oh, it's still entertaining as hell. And like you guys said, like that whole no part that was Drew's scene is really over the top.
Yeah.
But it works because it's Russell giving it.
Right.
So,
if you get the perfect amount of cheesy, it can work for your movie. And I thought that scene had it. I mean, we were fucking
yeah, I was fucking dying,
we were dying
dude.
laughing, but like it was an enjoyable scene.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that scene wasn't like, oh, okay, I see this part. That ruined the entire movie for me.
Right. And I wasn't really laughing like, oh, that was terrible. It was just, it was so fucking dramatic. No! And you're like, holy shit.
But the film has right now sitting at about 45 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 73%, 94% user though, and on IMDb it is a 7.8, but no Metacritic is available. So because I think it's a little too old for it, but yeah, one of the first top user reviews. Gave it 10 stars, saying, Kilmer steals the show. A terrific Western, a thoughtful screenplay, uniformly fine performances. Russell has never been better. So, they like I said, it's such a deep cast too. You even have a Charlton Heston cameo, who has another deep, sexy voice.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't. Who right now in Hollywood has one of those type of voices?
Idris Elba?
I could agree with that.
That dude from The Crow.
Brandon Lee?
No.
Ernie Hudson?
No, the
bad guy.
Well,
Yeah.
he isn't relevant anymore.
He should be.
I mean, Sam Elliott, yeah, he still exists, but he's barely in anything anymore. He's pretty much retired.
Deep, sexy voice.
I was going to say, maybe John Hamm?
Yeah.
But it's not gruff. It's deeper, though, so...
Christian Bale?
Swear to me!
Rachel?
The guy who played the Thing in Fantastic Four.
Which one?
The guy from The Shield. Oh, you meant that one.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Not Michael Chiklis.
What was that guy's name? He's known, isn't he? He's like...
I was just saying while he's the Thing, you're just like...
Reed.
Yeah.
You left me, Reed. Fuck that movie.
God.
Fuck that movie for real.
That movie was awful. Like, fun, but awful.
How did we not do that for our podcast
I don't think we had a pod yet.
No.
That was probably the movie where we first started, like, entertaining the idea, like, we need to talk shit about some movies. Not all of them, just some of them.
But, yeah. Anything else?
No, I can't think of anything.
We'll just roll on into reviews then. I'll start it because I picked this. I knew you two hadn't seen this. We mentioned it my last movie, that you guys hadn't seen this, and I just thought it was a travesty, so I had to pick it. I love this film. Russell's amazing. Kilmer's amazing. Bean is intimidating. Yes, there are issues with some of the storyline, and that's probably due to the script writer / screenwriter / director that was originally attached, and they kind of just had to roll with what they had. And so I'll chalk it up to that, but I still think the majority of everything works. The ending does kind of run a little long. And a lot of people will think OK Corral takes place at the end when it's actually near the beginning. And it's kind of cool because that is where you think the ending would be, but it's actually the beginning of the story because it's the beginning of all the bad stuff happening and all the culmination of the showdown and the start of the aftermath. And it just works all very well. You could have done a little bit mainly without Wyatt Earp's backstory, but for some people it just maybe fills in what was going on with the character at that time as well. Gives you some perspective of how he's feeling, but most of it's nonsense. You don't need it. But just for as weak as parts of the script are, the performances just carry it, and it makes it a must-see Western a lot better than the last Western we saw. So I give it a 9.2.
Damn.
Kilmer kills it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had never seen this, and I'm glad I finally got the chance to finally sit down and just watch it. Um, it's a good movie. Like I think all the acting is pretty good. I think you have some subplots that probably don't need to be there, but you know what the hell? It doesn't really matter. I think it's pretty impressive that Kurt Russell just kind of picked up the mantle and ran with it, and props to him. And until recently, had he even come out and said that, or he didn't even come out and say it.
Well, supposedly in '06 he did an interview in like True West magazine that he said he did it, and then Val Kilmer recently brought it back up because I don't think not everyone subscribes to True West magazine.
I said, what the fuck is
Val
True
Kilmer
West?
posted, like, he did a blog and everything and posted about how it was pretty much Russell that did everything.
Well, either way, props to him for picking it up and running with it. Had he ever directed before?
No.
So yeah, for a first-time director, you know, kind of just left with all this shit to do, you did damn well. Kilmer steals the show. If you watch it for anything, it's going to be Kilmer. It's a good Western, and it's got a contemporary, even though it's kind of older now, it's still newer than, say, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and, you know, A Fistful of Dollars, and even Unforgiven.
By a year.
Yeah, but Unforgiven still felt like that older style. It's just this felt newer. I don't know how to word it. Really.
I get what you're saying. Like Clint Eastwood had like a certain aesthetic to his that this one doesn't have.
Right. But it's still gritty. It's still entertaining. The characters are still intimidating. It's a solid Western. I'd probably give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm a Tombstone virgin. I was till tonight.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Dude, every time I see a movie with Kurt Russell, it makes me like Kurt Russell even more. And I didn't know that it was possible to like him more after some of the shit that I've seen him in, but he just kills it in this movie. And you get some genuine, like, good moments where the camera really, like, focuses in on him, and he's fucking just berating somebody, or he's intimidating the shit out of somebody, and you're just like, man, Kurt Russell, I wish Kurt Russell was my dad. Because that dude,
I like your dad.
But you would awesome. Like him more because he'd be Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
That's true.
Kurt Russell's just awesome. And so was Val Kilmer. Like, I don't know what I expected going into this movie, but it exceeded all of my expectations. I'd always heard Tombstone was a good film, and yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it. You know, you have your dramatic parts here and there that really kind of feel out of place or disingenuine, but I believe you at its core you really have a great film. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I really didn't feel like it was that long of a movie, other than that weird ending. But other than that, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I would probably watch it again at some point. I don't really like westerns all that much.
Really?
Yeah. But this one I enjoyed. Like, I was never real big into like the John Wayne or Clint Eastwood or any of those western movies. I don't know. I guess I like Django and Hateful Eight. Those were good. Those are both Tarantino, and newer.
I didn't see Hateful yet.
You haven't seen Hateful Eight?
No.
Jesus Christ, Ty.
I thought you loved Kurt Russell.
I do love Kurt Russell,
You need to watch Hateful Eight.
Oh man. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I give it an 8.
Let's see. What was it? This film, I think the reason it works pretty well, and you talked about, like, it just doesn't have the aesthetic like a Eastwood or a John Wayne Western had, is I think it was more commercialized. I think they tried to make it for a broader audience. And so, like, they left out some of that lingo and threw in some other stuff. Like they threw in the girl subplot. They threw in, or the woman love interest subplot. They threw
Right.
in.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been joking about women a lot, but I mean, how do I clean this up?
Honestly, in this film, they weren't needed.
Well, yeah, they weren't needed, but when I'm making all these jabs that you had to put it in there for women, I mean, you kind of have to win a female audience a little bit, and I don't know that a rough and tumble cowboy movie is really going to do that. So,
Well,
And I don't really think the women were all that strong
no.
of actors. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't-
Which is kind of why I'm saying just cut all that out.
They weren't a detriment. They were there. None of them really stood out. The only one who really stood out to me was Val Kilmer's. Like, I know they focused on the actress a lot, but
I don't think any of them helped it though.
no.
So I was just saying, if you cut that out, you're still gonna get the ladies that don't mind, your rough, gruff cowboy movie,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to.
You don't have to pander.
Yeah, you don't have to pander is a good word. So I don't know, just my opinion.
But yeah, great film. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jake, you're up next.
I actually had a different pick in mind, but
Contact.
no, not Contact. We lost a beloved character actor. Harry Dean Stanton
Mm-hmm.
died, and I'm gonna pick Seven Psychopaths.
Never seen it.
It's good. It's weird, and you get Harry Dean Stanton.
I was gonna say, isn't what's his name, Woody Harrelson in that?
Yep. Sam Rockwell,
Mm.
Colin Farrell.
Sam Rockwell's great.
You were less interested as I named people.
No,
You were
actually, I
"Ah,
like Colin Farrell a lot. I think his best movie is Daredevil.
No.
Or that In Burgess movie.
You mean In Bruges?
In Burgess.
I know, it's Burgess.
In Burgess. Yep. Well, the director of In Burgess actually directed Seven Psychopaths.
Oh, cool. I liked In Bruges. It was interesting, except the ending got really weird, and then, like, you're supposed to take it, like, certain philosophical ways of how you're thinking about it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe you won't like this. No, I think you'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So I think that'll do it for this week. Like, share, subscribe. Good luck out there in your western towns. Don't die.
Westworld?
Yes. Isn't James Marsden in that?
Yeah.
Doesn't he die a lot?
It's not worth your time.
Okay. Is
In
it
my opinion,
what is Westworld? Just explain it.
a disappointment.
Oh, okay.
Westworld is a giant theme park created by Anthony Hopkins where you take on the role of a newcomer to a town. And
It's like
you can-
Jurassic Park.
It's like Choose Your Own Adventure, but
Hmm.
with Western androids walking around.
And James Marsden's an android
Yes.
who always dies.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you get to go fuck robot hookers and
You can
get
go fuck
drunk
robot
and-
hookers or kill children.
Oh,
There were people that did that.
Yeah, they
Sure.
did.
Jake just didn't think about it. Now he's like reconsidering
Yeah.
the
He's
show.
like, actually, I like that
Maybe
show.
this Westworld's all right.
All right. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter, Facebook, Libsyn, iTunes, your favorite podcast apps, TJD movie reviews at gmail.com, or just TJD movie reviews to find us.
If you're sick and twisted and you have a sick and twisted friend,
Recommend them.
yeah, tell them about us.
Just don't tell the police.
And don't tell us about him. We don't care.
No.
That sounds so dickish. No, we kind of care. We'll entertain the thought of caring.
Yes, that sounds more like us. All right. I think that'll do it for this week. I'm Ty.
Jake.
And I'm Drew.
Bye.